look at the CPDM political party 30 years after creation that has remained unbeatable in the country's political scene. Opposition party leaders in Cameroon admit that the disunity amongst themselves is favoring the expansion of the party of Mr. Biya. And also in this newscast, a 7-year-old child brutally murdered in Chang, west region of the country. We tell you how the masterminds are yet to be uncovered. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back from the weekend. You are watching the primetime newscast on Equinox Television. Let's begin right away with obituary. Francois Phoning has finally been laid to rest. The official burial of the late mayor of the Douala 5 municipality unfolded at the weekend. That was at her native Baleng village in the Menua division of the west region of Cameroon. This Tuesday, March 24th, marks exactly 60 days after the death of the former mayor of the Douala 5 municipality. And according to the internal rules governing councils in Cameroon, elections were expected to be organized after 60 days. And at the council or in the Douala 5 municipality, the replacement of Francois Phoning is seemingly being decided in several secret meetings. As you tell us, Mfo Hansen Chanji.
The page of Francois Phoning has been turned over. The seat of the Douala 5 mayor is empty and needs replacement. On this first working day after her burial Saturday, the absence of the multi-dimensional mayor could be perceived at the council building. At the parking lot, the space reserved for our car is empty. We went inside the building to speak to any of the deputy mayors, but were told they were in a serious meeting. No one, not even the seat deputy mayor who was free, could speak. It is 60 days this Tuesday since her death, and today, the remaining 59 councillors, deputy mayors inclusive, we have to vote a new mayor from within. According to the internal laws of local councils in Cameroon, 60 days after the death of the mayor, elections are supposed to be held. Either the senior divisional officer or the first deputy mayor could convocate the electorate, but both will have to work hand in hand. According to dispositions put in place, elections shall be universal suffrage in a secret ballot system. Anybody within the 59 councillors could stand as candidate, but the law indicates that deputy mayors have an added advantage over non-executive councillors, but the law does not tell us how. The elections shall be done in 2 rounds. If nobody wins an absolute majority, there will be a second round, and if it gives same result, the elderly person is the winner. With these dispositions put in place, the battle to replace Francois Phoning as head of the Douala 5 Council is now open. It may not be a public declaration, but secret meetings are multiplying, and the law must be respected.
Who finally succeeds the former mayor of the Douala 5 municipality? We shall be getting answers few days from now. Now, the president of the Republic of Cameroon thinks that the maturity and wisdom of his party is only beginning now that it is turning 30. In a message in prelude to the party's 30th anniversary, President Paul Biya said that this is the age at which everything seems possible for the CPDM. Mr. Biya boasted how the ruling CPDM has stood the test of time since 1985, that it was created and has remained the bedrock of the country, the bedrock of the national unity, social and economic progress. The president equally said that the party has greatly succeeded to put democracy on track against all odds. The CPDM was and is the laboratory of democracy in Cameroon, says Mr. Biya. And our reporters in the political capital, Yaoundé, sought to know why the CPDM party has been able to govern for 3 decades unperturbed. Opposition parties are thinking that the regime of Mr. Biya is taking advantage of the vulnerability of impoverished Cameroonians. Even the disunity amongst members of the opposition party is a huge contributing factor, as Roland Akon reports.
Critics and observers of the CPDM party say the party has been governing Cameroon for 30 years now because President Biya and his lieutenants in the party are taking advantage of the precarity and vulnerability of Cameroonians to politically exploit them.
Everywhere in this country where you have the director of a government school, there is that administrative party there, because the inspector there can only appoint you, or the minister can only appoint you if they know that you are from their party. Even in the army, even recruitment, diplomacy and so on, even in our higher schools. If, for instance, the salary of a civil servant in category A2 was in 1982 about 300,000 francs, today is about 100,000 francs. You can cross-check.
The 30-year reign of the CPGM party is also blamed on the opposition in Cameroon, divided against itself in the face of the 30-year-old party.
I can incriminate the opposition parties because they are always, they cannot be joined together and fight against CPDM. Today it is not easy to understand why in Cameroon we have so many parties and they are divided in their opinion. That cannot help them to be efficient in the face of the party on power.
Many Cameroonians think that the best political party for them is CPDM. We practice democracy inside the party. We have competitive elections every time inside the party.
Political observations show that a party that cannot be directly changed can be destabilized by popular mobilization.
That is Roland Akong there reporting from the nation's capital. Now, forces of law and order, administrative and traditional authorities in Chwale, a locality in Chang, Menwa division of the West region of Cameroon, are currently investigating the brutal killing of a little boy, as we could see on our screen. Briol, as he was caught, went missing for close to a week and was only discovered lifeless and his body parts removed. The 7-year-old boy is said to have been kidnapped by persons whose identity up to now remains unknown. We can see the crowd gathered witnessing the unfortunate incident that took place in the locality of Chwale. That's a neighborhood in Chang, West region of the country. The incident is just one of the several cases of untimely deaths and alleged ritual killings being reported in Chang, West region of the country. That is an incident that took place a few days ago in the West region. Now, the office of the Human Rights Commission in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, bogot. The unidentified hoodlums made away with no valuable, but they left the office ransacked and some vehicles vandalized. The incident is coming after that of last December 2014, according to reports from officials of the institution. It has left workers worrying about their security, especially in the face of Boko Haram threats in the far north region. And we are obviously going to be having reactions of officials of the National Commission for Human Rights and Freedoms. That is, of course, an incident which occurred few hours ago in the nation's capital. Now, let's get the reaction of the Secretary General of the National Commission for Human Rights and Freedoms, Eva Itonge. She was speaking to our reporter, Roland Akong.
The first preoccupation came in on the 20th of December 2014, when after the session, the session we had at the Congress Hall, the chairperson in the night was victim of a type of cambriolage, if I can say it in English, robbery in his house, whereby 5 people entered his compound. They wounded him, they took the money, they took many things in his house, and in the night of 10 and 11 February 2015, we had the same problem with some of our cars in the main building, where some of our cars windows were broken. And today is the vice chairperson office, which is being visited by thieves. So we cannot know. There's a major problem of security. The chairperson had to meet the general delegate because we found that it was useful for this commission now to have security agents as police or gendarmerie to keep our premises and to keep the main person heading this commission.
Now, Cameroonian roads have become death traps and commuters plying them are seeking government's intervention. Along the Sanchu-Melong Highway, the absence of speed brakes is the principal cause of accidents along that stretch of route. Now, scores of lives have been endangered and enormous material damage recorded after 2 vehicles collided in that area that was recently. A reporter for Hansen Chanji has the details.
17 kilometers from Sanchu, 33 kilometers from Melong, west region of Cameroon. Here lies patches of 2 vehicles that collided recently at a strategic bend. It is still uncertain whether its occupants survived the incident. On our passage, only crates of beer were there, begging to reach their destination. Unfortunately, they could not speak to us to tell us how the accident occurred, but the nature of the accident must have been fatal. 1 vehicle damaged beyond repairs, and the other, a truck, had its tires hanging. Bottles shattered on the ground, slippers abandoned. This bend could be a death trap with no speed brakes. But on daily basis, road users ply the road. Who next? That is the biggest question. Hopefully, someone is watching somewhere.
And another problem plaguing Cameroonian roads, circulation of vehicles still a problem at the weighing station in Edea due to the ongoing rehabilitation works in that part of the country. Now accidents are unavoidable as a result, with road users calling on authorities to do something about the situation. Jacques Ekwekinge completes that story.
Getting into and from the town of Edea has become a nightmare to many road users. The roads to and from the Sanaga Maritime Divisional Headquarters have become shadows of themselves. The roads are in an advanced state of degradation, with potholes, some to the size of a mini swimming pool. This poor state of the roads have been blamed on the numerous heavy-duty trucks which come in and out on a daily basis. The situation is worst around the weigh station. This poor state of the road has been blamed on the numerous accidents usually witnessed around the town of Edea. For example, the case of this heavy-duty truck which tumbled over the weekend as it fell in one of those pits on the road while struggling to dodge another truck that had been stuck in a pothole. According to unconfirmed allegations, authorities of the Edea weigh station had been asked to suspend their activities until the road around that area is rehabilitated. But they decided to continue carrying out their activities despite the call for a break. Sources say the weigh station authorities only closed their doors after this accident, as the trucks involved in the accident were just from the weigh station. Information we could not independently confirm. The situation has presently made circulation difficult as cars are forced to use one lane, either coming or going out. Road users are all the same soliciting that something be done faster before the situation causes other incidents.
Now, security forces in Betwa, East region of the country, have launched a manhunt in Garua Bulai after 16 people, including the mayor of Lagdo, went missing. That was some 3 days ago. Security forces have been deployed throughout the region of the East to uncover the masterminds of the kidnapping. The 16 missing people were all passengers on board a bus which left Betwa for the north region of Cameroon. We hear that passengers were ambushed some 20 kilometers from Garua Bulai by some yet to be identified individuals. We also hear that they are said to have been transported to the Central African Republic. We keep you updated as soon as we are informed. Now, could the current mayor of the Boya municipality and his predecessor be on a cold war? A recent outing by Ekema Patrick, that's the mayor of the Boya Council, gave the impression that his achievements are being put to question by Mbela Mokichas, who is currently senator in the upper house of parliament. Details with Derek Jato.
Molwa Weme lives in Bokova, a village in Boya municipality. A polio victim, Mola Weme tells us that it is very difficult for him to move around without being assisted. Today, Mola Weme's story has changed. The Buea Council has given him a tricycle. Mola Weme, just like his other physically challenged colleagues, were also handed financial support in a ceremony that was twinned with the New Year wishes to the mayor and his deputies. On the occasion, Mayor Patrick Ekema Esunge saluted the steadfastness of his collaborators for the betterment of the Buea municipality, and then came back to the Buea Council demolition plan, explaining why many buildings in the Buea municipality have been mapped out for demolition.
We are working in respect to the law. The law on town planning says that on built-up areas, you give 10 meters away from the edge of the road on a trunk-A route, and on developed areas you give 25 meters from the edge of the road.
Making some pronouncement, the mayor said he is informing his municipality on what his distractors are up to, and even call names.
The state of Cameroon is a state of law, and our job descriptions are well defined. You will never see me performing the job of a senator, so they should stop looking innocent into my office. In 11 years that they were in this position I am, the public can bear witness, we can't find any infrastructure that can be tacked to that management. If you want to become a good after 5 years.
Certificate to meritorious council workers ended the twin ceremony.
Now, let's look at the son of the former president of Senegal that finally pays the price for alleged embezzlement. Karim Wade, son of the former president of Senegal, Abdoulaye Wade, has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for corruption. Karim Wade was also fined of $150 million for illegal enrichment during his father's 12 years rule. Karim Wade was accused of illegally amassing about some $1.4 billion, and he has been in detention since April 2013. Wade was a senior minister in his father's government and was in charge of major infrastructure and energy projects. His arrest came after the new government vowed to tackle corruption. We're supposed to talk about the 30 years of the CPDM political party, the creation of the political party of Mr. Biya that's going to be commemorated tomorrow, but unfortunately our guest announced his unavailability barely few minutes to 6 p.m. We thank you so much, viewers, for joining us in this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television, wishing you a blessed day in the company of our programs. Once again, good evening.